Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel, my YouTube channel. And today I want to make some comments on the Senzo Meyiwa case that is ongoing in South Africa. It's one of the most popular topics, not only in South Africa but almost the whole world, because Senzo Meyiwa was actually a player, soccer player, who was assassinated or killed in very controversial circumstances. And his death, till now, is still not well understood. But clearly explain the way I know the media is supposed to explain. When you say Muzi, Muska Kulelwa Sibiya, okay, that's accused number one. Who is he? Where, for example, if you see the photos, the media has not been able to spell out that this is number one, this is number two. You find that the photos that are, the pictures that are depicted, they are just always mixed up so much that it's very difficult for, and I feel like that is one way of, a sign of biased reporting. See, but I understand this, I understand it very well. Why I understand it is because it looks like maybe there is a problem here in Africa that we tend, like maybe a case of South Africa, people tend to glorify, they feel like they don't want to rebuke criminals. Even if they know that this one is a criminal, there is that kind of sense that from if you try to check on the YouTube, the reporting, you can understand that you see, you find that those criminal people try to sympathize with criminals, see, but they forget that the state, okay, takes, very stringent, tough processes to come up with the suspects that are connected to a crime. It's not easy. They go through normal processes, and that process is it involves a lot of isolation. For example, if they come up with 5, you must know that maybe they got 30 of them, okay? But they scrutinize to see honestly the people who might have definitely or directly connected to the crime, and then they may come up with the least number that must be the most accurate number. The state cannot be, like mudslinging someone or blackmailing someone. The state cannot do that. Never, it cannot do that. We must trust the state. But I believe that there is this aura of, I think like in Africa we have a problem that we still want to associate criminality as a struggle in life, okay? Like political struggle or something else like that, which is very wrong. See, it's very wrong thinking like that. It's totally different. But I want to say one thing now, okay? Me, I happen to have observed or watched maybe hundreds of cases, and I have some understanding of how cases go. South Africa is a country that observes the law, okay? No matter how you feel, your own feeling, okay, cannot change anything, because it's a country that has good laws, okay? That's why those people, they're suspects, those suspects, they are already convicted, meaning that they went through legal processes in other matters as well. So this tells us that, South Africa is a country that has laws. So even if you have hatred towards someone, okay, it doesn't change anything, okay? Even if your hatred, your own personal feelings are not the law. The law is the law. Even if your own, okay, affiliation, okay, cannot make you to bend the law. The law is straight as the law. This is very important to understand. So currently, the situation that is now with the ongoing Senzo Meyiwa case is that the evidences that have been presented, they are too strong now. They are getting stronger and stronger and stronger against the suspects. Because initially or originally, everybody would believe, was skeptical to think that on the scene of the crime where Senzo Meyiwa was killed, okay, there were intruders. This was a debate, big debate, to say, were there intruders? It was a question, and it was a big question. It was something everybody could not believe that, truthfully, there were intruders at that place. So there were conspiracies that, no, the people who visited that house were actually the ones who assassinated or who killed Senzo Meyiwa. It was something that everybody also would believe is true. But since the case started, okay, hearing of the case against two different judges, see, and the witnesses have been flooding to the court. Each and every witness who has been there at the court has presented his own version of the case, okay? But to me, that is not something strange, because I've watched many cases. It happens like that, okay? And scientifically, you can't observe the same incident accurately the same. No, because sometimes there will be a little difference because of certain perceptions. It's called perceptions, okay? And those perceptions, they go far. For example, you can differ in the numbers. Someone can tell you that I saw 2. Someone will tell you that I saw the figure 5. Someone will say, no, I saw figure 8, okay? Yeah, because it's something that it was not premeditated. It's something that happened, okay, simultaneously, where people were not ready to see that particular thing. So if like numbers flash, okay, and then people, you are watching the numbers, someone will tell you that I saw 5, okay? Another person will tell you, no, I saw 7, you see? So those are minor things, very, very small things that you don't even need to argue too much about them. But I've seen even the lawyers arguing on small, trivial things like those. It's very, 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 very funny. But, that's how it goes. No problems about it. But I want to say, what is happening now with the case? The evidences are getting stronger against the suspects. Stronger and very stronger. Because currently, it has been established now, it's a fact that they were intruders at the house. See, they were intruders at the house, because every testimony, almost every testimony, and almost every witness that has agreed that they were intruders at that particular house. There's no way the judge can isolate that fact. That one is a number one fact. It's been established. Okay, that alone, that is a preliminary defeat to the suspects. To understand this case, Senzo Meyiwa case, take yourself, for example, try, even if you are a South African, try to take yourself like you are not a South African. Okay? Even if you are an African, take yourself like you are not African. You are coming from somewhere, and someone is explaining you that story, explaining to you. You will have a good, objective mind, because that is exactly how the judges will handle that case. They will not handle the case with premeditated, the way other people, they are commenting on the media and everywhere, thinking like it's something like, when the criminals do something, they are definitely like they are heroes. There is no way, the judges would do that. See, there is no way the judges will actually glorify that, because they are definitely going to follow the law. Otherwise, then they are throwing the country into lawlessness. See, but let's take it on this step. So, one fact has been established, that at that house, there were intruders at that house. And which house was that? It was the house of Senzo's girlfriend, Kelly's mother. That house, not even for Kelly herself. See? Not even for Senzo. But that house belonging to Senzo's girlfriend's mother. You see? So there is this other debate that would rage so much. And that's why I'm saying that the evidence is getting more stronger. Senzo, if you go to his programs, the way almost every witness has explained how Senzo traveled those days, okay, before that 26 October, or that 26 October itself, his program. Senzo was a player. He was a football player. He was always at the pitch. He was always with his guys playing soccer. Okay, and from where he used to live and to where he used to stay with his girlfriend Kelly, to where his mother was staying, his girlfriend's mother was staying, it's not the same vicinity. Very long distances. Now, Senzo was supposed to go to a birthday of another guy called Roy Mahamusa. Was it something like birthday? But they also went somewhere to perform. Okay, but their movement, for them to go to where Kelly was performing, but their movement was not predicted, okay, because it was not by plans that they would go there. But Kelly called them to go there to see her performance. After performance, they would leave, they would go home. So actually, they wanted to go straight to... Okay, anyway, the whole story, if you understand it, you see that it's full of, zigzags. Okay, why I'm saying these zigzags is because Senzo himself was not predictable in his movements. Okay, he was not going a straight direction. Only himself knew where he would want to go, his destination. Why this point is very important is because his being found at Kelly's mother's house was not premeditated, was not predicted. Even Kelly herself, I'm 100% sure that she did not think that Senzo would go that place, would go to that house. But it happened because he had to go. He was called by another guy to pick him from there. His friend, this was the one who called him at Kelly's house to pick him from there. That, no, I am here at Kelly's mother's house. Just come and pick me here. You see? So Senzo had to change his directions and went to Kelly to pick that guy. It was not premeditated. It was not pre-planned. See, if you listen, if you understand the whole thing, you will see that every plan was inside himself as Senzo. Okay, but then he made the robbers. Even how he made the robbers, you will see that they just extended their time there with some minutes only, and then the robbers broke into the house. Otherwise, if they had just left the way they wanted, because they wanted to leave earlier, definitely they could not have made the robbers. Okay. They could not have made the thugs. He could not even have died. So what is the point that I'm making? You see, understanding this story like an independent person, understanding it with an independent mind, with the objective mind, you will see that it appears like the robbers, these thugs, were not in the pursuit for Senzo Meyiwa. It's very difficult to understand it, to agree, because most people have premeditated mind. But you can agree with me that there is no way robbers can fall a person who is unpredictable like that. Because if anything, okay, Senzo was supposed to be killed or was supposed to be shot there at the party where he went to perform. That could have been another story. Where he went to see Kerry performing, that could have been another story. That would have been a little bit predictable. Or any other place well premeditated. For example, he was called to go to a birthday party. If the birthday party really took place, okay, and he was shot there, then that could have been a good story. That yes, possibly this was premeditated and was targeted at him. But that's not the case. So this is where there is a difference in opinion, division of people are so divided in their opinion about this. Yes, of course, the state came out clear to say this sounds to be a hit. Okay, this sounds to be a hit. This sounds to be a hit. But just a little comment, this sounds to be a hit. But just a little comment about this. It doesn't appear that way. It doesn't appear that maybe Senzo was the one targeted. Okay, like I said, this is just a comment in my observation of many cases, but I'm not saying that my opinion is the truth. No, I'm not saying that. I've already explained that's my disclaimer, that this is my disclaimer. It doesn't mean that it's the truth. The truth will come out itself. But even from the explanation, you don't have to use your own opinion, okay? Because there were witnesses. Listen to the case, watch the case, listen carefully the case. You will see. You will not blame the judges, whatever they may say. Already there, they said when the intruders came to the house, what happened there at the house was that some of the people were able to assault, okay, the intruders. And the way they appeared, the intruders, they appeared on the side of Kerry. And Kerry managed to run after she saw her. She saw them. He managed to run to go and hide in the bedroom. And the intruders went straight into the house, fearing nobody. And when they went there, they looked to be targeting Kerry. This is what we are getting. This is the picture that we get. Maybe we are wrong. Maybe the way they are explaining the witnesses, maybe we are not getting it clear enough. But that's the point we are getting. Because they are saying that the scuffle between Senzo and the intruders started because Senzo was trying to stop the intruders, okay, from following Kerry or from pursuing Kerry. This is the point that we are getting. Maybe we are getting it wrong, but if we are wrong, then we get it in the way explained to us. There will be clarifications very well. But I'm also very somehow not impressed with the lawyers. You see, it's clear that now the lawyers have been defeated because the state witnesses that have been presented are experts. And I saw some of the lawyers disputing, qualifications of experts. Something that is so trivial, because you as a lawyer, you can know that a country like South Africa, okay, may not have PhD, experts, criminal investigation experts, to be presenting evidence for every case. There are too much crime in South Africa. You cannot have enough staff. You cannot have enough staff to be going to courts to present the evidences like that. Definitely, most of the people, they can be quickly trained. Okay, they can be trained and be assigned. Every person is stands for the office. He represents the office. He's simply trained to present the evidence as there, because there's too much crime in South Africa. So much so that, the people that can be assigned, they simply represent the offices. They are not talking their opinions. They have nothing personal against the criminals or suspects. They have nothing against anyone. That's why every other person is saying that I was told, or I was given all this data to analyze. I was given by the investigating officer. I was given by so and so. You see that the investigation officers, they are well connected, and each and everybody is coming and presenting his evidence so well. So much so that even the lawyers, they are appearing to have nowhere to run. So I give example, for example, like if I give example, the evidence that were presented against accused number 3, about the appearance of accused number 3. And again, appearance of accused number 3 depicting that he is the one who was accused number 1. I mean, the suspect number 1, or the intruder number 1. Not suspect, but intruder number 1. Because his appearance looked to match, okay, the appearance in the identity kit of intruder number 1. So you saw how the lawyers were arguing. They were arguing on trivial, okay? In the end, they agreed that yes, they should have been intruders at the house. Because if the lawyers were arguing about intruders in the house, definitely they were like approving or accepting that yes, they were intruders at the house. That is a clear defeat. For example, in my view, it's just my opinion, but if that case, if the lawyers were to win that case, they were supposed to dispute that there were no intruders, and definitely they were not supposed to discuss anything to do with intruders. But the moment they were discussing things of intruders, the position of people in the house, asking the position, everything, asking the even the appearance of the intruders, all that one was an admission that they were intruders. That's why we said it's now established fact that they were intruders. So, second thing about the phones, see, you saw the state presenting evidence about the phones, and that they downloaded evidences in the phone from one of the suspects, suspect number 3. And everything that was found there matched the way he appeared and everything like that. That also explains very well that the job that the state investigators did was amazing. Even there in the court, they explained, the state investigators explained very well their methodology. But it was just a privilege, because they were not supposed to disclose how they come up to how they catch criminal suspects, or how they come up with a list of criminal suspects, because that should be some state secret. Because if such information can be used by other criminals as well. So, but they did us good, because they explained, they said already that what happens is very easy. If you are going to buy a car, for example, you will present your documents, you will present everything like that. Those are our catching points, because your documents, okay, are linked up to everything else that you do, okay, and we can trace you through that. He said, Colonel Stein said it that way, that when we are tracing, we actually use those documentation and database just to establish about people and connections. And it was very clear, they said it there, that all the suspects were found with other cases. Okay? So when they were examined, they found that some of the things that they had were connected to another case. So there are issues to do with the calls, phone calls, very trivial things. For example, the suspects were calling Kelly. They called her, first and second time in August. Okay, that one is debatable, but Kelly is not a person who is not a common person. She's a celebrity and she's a business person. These are some of the things that they needed to be considered very much, okay, in a situation like that, because definitely the judge would discuss. In a case like this, let me tell you how the judgment may come about. There is something that they call in legal or statistics, they call it balance of probabilities, okay, balance of probability, where the judge, where the suspects strongly refuse or deny involvement. See, for example, there was accused number 1. They said accused number 1 was found with iPhone 6. Okay, was found to be using iPhone 6, and accused number 1 denied, saying that he never used iPhone 6. Okay, Colonel Stein said that the information that was obtained by investigators in the prison, state clearly that accused number 1 had used iPhone 6. See, so sometimes a person, you can forget, but you can borrow someone's phone and use. See, something like that, you don't know. But those people, they have connections. They can use network. Colonel Stein already said we can download information, people's information. We can download it. We can download that information, people's information, and we can know what they have been doing at certain stages. See, that's what you must. Those are databases. Those are machines. Those are not people. They are machines. For example, the issue of RICA. You cannot you cannot argue with the issue of RICA, because if they bring, they don't need even to bring expert from a cell phone company. That would be even worse. That would be worse, because there is an application. It's possible for the state to bring a person from the cell phone company. Okay, they apply for that. Okay, but it's worse because those people can review even more worse things about those suspects. You see, because they will have the whole system. Now, government does not have some of the access to some of the information for those people. For example, the messages, the discussions, the conversations. Okay, government can apply a rule that can allow the cell phone company, to surrender, the discussions. You see, but I think the government is not interested in that. The state is not interested in that. But if it goes worse, the state can even be interested in that, and it is possible. They do it by application. So that's why I'm saying that, the government cannot lie. You see, the state cannot lie because they don't have anything wrong with the suspects. So, in a case like this, for example, if the suspects strongly deny involvement, the judge will use what is called balance of probabilities. So, balance of probabilities is actually where the judge makes summary, of the facts. That's why I told you that the most important thing is that facts are being produced. Facts are being established. This is the case is getting stronger against the suspects because facts are being established. You remember when the suspects were captured, were arrested, one by one, they all refused, saying that they had no connection to Senzo Meyiwa case. But now look, even the suspect number 3 was found with the same gear that was used the day Senzo Meyiwa was killed. See, and suspect number 5 had called Kelly, but he was strongly refusing that there was no any connection with Senzo Meyiwa murder. So when someone may ask a question, how would he have been calling Kelly? Oh, we can't know. Maybe there was connection, or maybe there was someone else who sent them to try to kill Kelly, or there was someone else who hired them to kill Senzo Meyiwa himself. So we don't know, but it is possible for the killers to call the victim. They actually call their victim. This has been the trend for so many cases that have been over. We have observed, we have heard. There is always something like that. Okay, so in my own opinion, I think this case is a case of accidental, a premeditated murder that went wrong. I think that the killers were not originally targeting Senzo, okay? But they ended up killing him because maybe what they wanted to do was not possible. Because that particular day when they went there at that house, they did not anticipate to find many people, okay? They were shocked, even to find Senzo himself. They were shocked. Maybe the target was not Senzo. See, because when we are hearing from the evidence, it is said that it is Senzo who started confronting them. Okay? It is not them who pointed the gun at Senzo Street. No. You see, what does it tell you? It could be possible that they were trying to, now, after they saw that it was going to be very difficult. For example, if we say they wanted to kill Kerry, okay? Then we would say, maybe they found that it was going to be very difficult. So what do? They would be captured. You see, how do? They have to rescue themselves. This is just my opinion. It's just opinion, just thinking about it. But what I'm saying is that the judge, usually in this kind of situation, the judge uses what is called balance of probability. Balance of probability is where the judge weighs the best possible, okay, scenarios, okay. So the judge will weigh the best possible scenarios and he will put his opinion to become the reality of what happened. And he will say, this is what happened according to how I have understood the whole story. I think it happened like this, like this, like this. That's why it becomes even very, very dangerous, because these people are already connected to certain other murders. Yes, I know there is a rule in South Africa, or law, that says murders must not influence, okay, cases must not influence each other, okay. But you know, the rules or laws are contradictory always. There is no way one scenario cannot influence another scenario. There is no way, especially when it comes to balance of probabilities. You look at, you see, this one is a suspect, was found with a gun, okay, and he's a suspect who has been convicted, okay, of trying to assassinate or kill another person, okay, but also he's linked to this murder, okay. So the balance of probability, the best possible probability, the best possible scenario would be that this person is guilty. You see, that's the problem. That's where the problem is. So sometimes what is supposed to happen is that we are supposed to be very fair in our analysis. Okay, very fair in our analysis. Let the witnesses, okay, come up, explain, put up their testimonies, and then we can hear from the judges. But personally, I'm very impressed with the progress of the case, that now it looks like justice is really independent, fair justice is really coming out now. Because even some people have been mentioning about the story of Senzo Meyiwa's phone, okay. I was listening attentively to that, about Senzo Meyiwa's phone, that it was rebooted or something like that. But then they said that the experts said that Senzo Meyiwa's phone was protected by password, meaning that the person who may have, rebooted that phone might be a person with credentials for that phone directly from the owner, the late himself. And what can that person be? Possibly maybe cannot be a girlfriend. You see, can be someone very, very well trusted person, maybe a family member. Because if that is the case, then definitely maybe the girlfriend did not have a password, because that was already tested by even the state itself, trying to get the phone, Senzo's phone, but there was screen locked. They said it in the court. I'm not giving my own opinion. Maybe I did not hear it nicely, but they said it in the court like that. So this is very interesting case, but I know that it's cases like this, they usually end up with balances of probability where the judge would come up with the best possible scenarios of happening. So it's better, me personally, if it was possible, it was very important for the suspects, okay, to confess. See, because if they confess, they would make the case easier. Maybe there is one only two people who are directly connected to the case. The rest, maybe they are innocent. But in the end, if the judge invokes balance of probability, they may all go into jail. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's the most probable thing. It's a very dangerous thing. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Like I said, this is just my own opinion, and I'm just discussing it. My opinion, I'm not saying it's a truth, okay, but I'm following this case. I'm listening to the case every step, every day, every moment, every minute, every second. I'm interested because this guy was a football player. We used to know him, and his soul, may his soul rest in peace. Thank you so much.